Good evening. Welcome to my vlog where we talk about how to be happy, healthy, and productive while in quarantine. For this evening's episode, I'm going to be joined by my faithful sidekick, Romeo, and we're going to take you through some basic dog training techniques and tricks because it's just as important for yourself as for your furry family members to get some mental stimulation in a regular day and try something new, try ourselves out, that kind of thing. And if you can't get outside as often, especially, it's a great time to be teaching your dog some tricks. The training regime that you decide to utilize with your dog can start from the day you get them home when they're a puppy, but it's also never too late. Dogs are quite smart and can learn new tricks at any time. The saying of you can't teach an old dog new tricks is not true. In a later episode, we'll even teach Romeo a new trick. But for now, we're going to go through some of the basic ones first, and also some of the basic rules or techniques to follow to better train your dog and help them learn quicker and to enjoy it. It is important to only use positive reinforcement techniques. Negative reinforcement just doesn't work. So if you are feeling impatient or tired or quick to anger, it's just not a good time to be trying tricks. And also do things very slow and steady. So a short session with your dog, especially when you're getting into it or if they're old, would be better than trying to go for a marathon session. Definitely try to take it into bite-sized chunks. Once the dog fully understands a new trick, then you can consider a new one, but make sure that they're all the way there with the first trick before you try to move on and add others to the repertoire. Some people like to use a clicker, which is just a method to be able to delay the positive reinforcement that you would normally give them through a treat or a pat or whatever it is that works best for your dog, but gives them instant recognition of what they did that will later earn them that treat. Instead of using a clicker, you'll hear that I will sometimes say the word yes very quickly like that, really enunciating the S, and that's just my way of using a clicker without having a clicker in my hand. So that Romeo understands that when I say that word, that is the reason why, and that he'll get a treat maybe a few seconds or whatever later, but it shortens the connection between the treat and whatever it is he did to deserve it. Every dog will love to please you and will want to learn, so they are trying no matter how slow it might seem. So have a lot of patience with them as you're going through this. Start really slowly with some basic tricks and then work your way up as your dog learns some more basic ones. So, Romeo, can you come here, please? We're going to use these treats, which are Romeo's Excellence treats, of course. We'll do a zoom there of the package. You'll notice he's on the package. He's a very famous dog in these parts. And then instead of using the whole treats, it's important just to use small ones. So I'm going to tear these up and use just small pieces from them. And if you can get small treats, that's even better. But something that the dog obviously likes, which I think Romeo does. And it can be kept in smaller bits so that they are still interested in whatever the treat is and that they're not full after 2 minutes of giving them treats. That's why we're going to use small ones. Okay, first trick we're going to try is to give me paw, which Romeo and I have tried to do this so that he actually knows the difference between the left and the right paw. Wait, left, good boy, gentle, yeah, good boy, wait, okay, now can you remember what the other one is? Right, yes, good boy, very nice, very well done. See how he's focused? He's very much looking at me and the treats, more at the treats, but then at me. It's important he focuses on you, or she, and not just on the treats. So understand that he's listening to what you're asking and not to what the treats are saying. Okay, this is the command for down, is it put your hand flat on the floor. Wait, yes, good boy. So he's getting it, in this instance, both for laying down and also for waiting when I ask him to. Okay, Romeo, roll over. This is one he doesn't like. Come on, yes. Oh boy. And you'll notice that the second he's finished the trick, that's when I say yes, like that, so that he knows that he's completed the trick and that he just has to wait for the treat. And it's not necessary to give a treat after every single trick. This is because we're doing this for the camera. You might be a bit shy, but once you train the tricks to your dog, then you only have to do it every 3 or 4, and they'll still remember what it is that they're getting the treats for. Okay, so the basic command for laying down is to put your hand on the floor like this, and for sitting it's to raise your hand like this. Up, please. Up. No, I want to show you up first. Yeah, good boy, come here. Now sit. Now you'll see that his head is raised like this, and this is why the sit motion is to raise your hand like this, because it automatically, naturally brings your dog's head up, which makes them sit their butt down on the ground. Very good. Okay, up. Gentle. One, up. Good boy. You'll hear me say gentle a few times. It's because I don't want Romeo to bite my fingers. He would never do it on purpose, but he might be a bit too excited about his treat and try to take your finger off at the same time. So by doing gentle, it's a trick he learned years ago to make sure that he only takes a very soft mouth towards the treat. Wait, gentle please. See how softly he does that? Right out of my fingers, no problem at all. Now, final trick we're going to show you this evening, and the next time around we might try to break down the trick into phases so it's easier to understand as you're training them. But are self-control ones. Anytime that your dog has to stay, or when they're off leash and they have to understand that just because they smell something delicious they shouldn't be eating it, or not to chase a ball or go after a dog or a squirrel, these are all self-control related. Romeo has amazing self-control, he was born that way. But it's also important to teach this to them. Wait. So for instance, he's going to demonstrate his self-control over waiting with a piece of food right there above his eyeball that he knows is there, but he's not allowed to eat it until I let him do so. So thanks for joining us this evening. Hopefully this will help you and your furry friends live happier, healthier, and more productive lives while in quarantine. Okay.